So some time has passed, and Stranger Things 5 has not grown on me. Lazy plot, disgusting dialogue, and the lack of character deaths has me wondering if the possibility of Conformity Gate were to happen, which characters would get to live and which characters would get to die. Before we get started, what is Conformity Gate, you ask? Well, I would tell that employed person that Conformity Gate was a theory that went viral after the finale of Stranger Things 5, because the series finale was so utterly bad that people were having to make up a theory thinking that it was all in Vecna's mind and the whole ending was fake, and they were going to release a secret 9th episode that would be the true ending. Which me, being a rational thinker, knew that that was a load of horse manure. Seeing it everywhere and going into depth about the theory had a little voice in the back of my peanut cavity just screaming out, "This stuff actually makes a bit of sense. If this did happen, it's gonna break everyone." Honestly, if this were to happen, this would be a Avengers Endgame level amount of hype that we haven't seen since pre-pandemic. There were so many plot holes in Season 5 of Stranger Things that it started to make sense that this could be a Vecna vision. Conformity Gate, we all knew wasn't going to happen. But the idea of it made sense in the way that plot holes couldn't be explained away in the actual context of the story. It wasn't just chalked up to the Duffer Brothers had no faith in it. They didn't have anything written for the finale. Not to dive too deep into the theory, because this video actually has a point. If Conformity Gate was real, who lives and who dies? If somehow I could magically puppeteer the lazy writers known as the Duffer Brothers and magically control the 500 characters they've collected like Pokemon over the last 5 seasons, which ones would I spare and which ones would I have dealt with? Now here's how the video is going to work. I will be using a tier list system, so I can visually show you which character goes into which section. There will be 3 sections: live, die, and either. The first 2 are self-explanatory. However, for the either section, I have bundled a few characters together that could be interchangeable, whether one dies and one lives, and vice versa.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Oh, boy, I've been...
Because their deaths would leave around the same narrative impact, whether it was one or the other. And by the way, these are just my personal opinions, and this is made for entertainment use only. Little disclaimer there. Sorry, I actually wrote a script for this, because I'm not good with reading. I like to have the stuff off the dome sometimes, you know?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Let me know in the comments below which ones in the either section would you choose to off or to save. Got the rules? Good, because I am not explaining it again. You're going to have to rewind this video. I'm going to start with the lesser characters first, and then move up to the more heavy hitters. So you can watch this video until the end and trick the algorithm that I'm actually worth watching. Alright, without further ado, here we go. Callie, Elle's sister. If you didn't know who Callie was, now you do. She hasn't appeared since Season 2, and she made an appearance in this season. But in the Season 2 episode that she was in, episode that Callie was in Season 2 was the worst rated episode of Stranger Things. And it was supposed to spark up a spinoff that nothing ever happened to, and we never saw them characters again. So, Callie, I agree with the Duffers on this one. Yeah, she should die. Alright, Dr. K. Die, of course. You know? There is no narrative significance to her dying or to her living. Literally, if you watch the actual finale, We don't know what happened to her afterward. We just know that she's alive. And I think to ramp up the stakes of this, you would need to kill her off. Mr. Clark, live. Duh. Ted Wheeler, die. I think it would be a good way of showing the stakes of season 5 that Ted would protect Holly from a Demogorgon and end up dying doing so. The parents don't really see any repercussions of anything. They're practically blind to everything that's been happening in Hawkins since the beginning. So it'd be nice to see a blend of the adults coming into the world that the kids have already been a part of for a long time. Karen Wheeler, live. But I'd like to bust her up a little bit more than how she was in the show. Just a couple scars. Are you kidding me? Make it to where, like, I don't know, she can't use her arm, or she's walking with a limp, or something. Make the stakes actually, to justify her living, at least make it look like she's, like, been through something instead of a couple scars. And I know a couple scars makes it look like battle damage. I think a little bit more nod to the battle that she was in, because she literally battled a freaking monster. I think that would be a good way of doing it. Show the people that live are having a hard time adjusting to how they live normally. Murray, die. This is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Murray should have died last season. I was a fan of Murray. I don't like him anymore, and I am biased with this. This whole list is biased. This is my opinions. But Murray should have died last season. I liked him in Season 2. I liked him in Season 3. By Season 4, he started overstaying his welcome, started to get annoying, started to be a thorn in my side, and I cringed every time he was on screen. He should have died last season. If he didn't, he should have died this season. I probably would have killed him off. And that's non-negotiable. I would absolutely. If I had control over it, he would have went. Hopper, die. Remember for like 3 years that we thought he was dead? Remember that? For 3 whole years, we were left with a cliffhanger, not knowing if he was actually dead, or they teased the whole Russian thing at the end, but some people didn't really catch on to that. So a lot of people thought he was dead.
For 3 years.
We thought he was dead. And then he came back, which is epic. If the whole Conformity Gate rewrite had a final battle, I think it would be imperative that Hopper sacrifice himself for either 11 or all of the kids to give his character a little bit of a nice send-off. I think narratively speaking, a Hopper dying, which even in Season 3 they thought this, that him dying was the easiest route to go for a character death. Joyce, I think she should live. There's no real narrative reason to kill her off. I don't think so. She's been there since the beginning, and I think that killing her off wouldn't give that big of an emotional impact. Even though she is a main character, it has not been teased. It's not even been lingered to a possibility of her dying. So I think that she should live. Robin, I think she should live. Even though she's a newer character, she is a fan favorite character, and even though I may not like how she has been written in this season, I don't think it warrants her dying. Not a whole lot of narrative impact from her dying that I can see from it. Her girlfriend, on the other hand, I don't even remember her name. I didn't even think to add it. Yeah, she could die. All right, speed round for the youngest characters. Holly, Erica, Delightful Derek, they should all live. I'm just putting that out there. Nancy Wheeler, live. She has like a Last Girl vibe to her, and I think that killing her off would be a disservice to the character because she has been shown to be very capable of protecting herself. A woman knows how to protect herself. She is probably not going to die. There is like 90% she is not going to die if she is capable and knows how to defend herself and fight. She's not gonna die. We got our first duo here, Max and Will. I'm putting them in the either, of course, because they're bundled up. So if you've been watching, you already know which category they are going into because the duos are automatically going into the either section. So for Max and Will, I think with Max being in a coma and Will having a connection to the Upside Down, that I think either one of them could have a psychic lock with Vecna, like a psychic battle with them, and I think one of them should perish along with Vecna in this battle, in the mind. So if it's either Will or Max, it doesn't really matter to me. Comment what you think. Oh, this is an easy one. Vecna, die, obviously. Lucas. I think Lucas should live. There's no real big narrative impact for him to die. I think that he should live. There's really no reason for him to die unless he's protecting the youngest kids from dying. That would have been really cool, but I don't really see a reason to kill him off. Okay, for the next duo, we have Jonathan and Steve. I think either one of them dying or living would fit the narrative very well. I think if Steve died, there's going to be a little bit more outcry of fans being unhinged towards the Duffers, but Jonathan dying could also have some narrative weight without the backlash. I think both of them leaving after the finale and living their lives is kind of too happy. I kind of just want to see these characters suffer. I think Dustin should live just because he's awesome. You gonna kill that? You're gonna kill this guy? You're gonna kill this kid? Really? Nah, he's living. He's got the brains for it. The last duo on my list is Mike and Eleven. They are also the last characters I am reviewing here. Mike and Eleven are going into the either because I think either one of them could die and make the biggest impact to the story. And they kind of did this. The Duffer Brothers did. They kind of made it seem like 11 died, but then they had a cop-out with the whole theory at the end of it, which, if they're putting it in there, it's confirmed. It's interpretation. No, you put it in there, she's alive. So it was kind of a cop-out. But I liked the idea of 11 dying, because she was going to be hunted by the government forever for her powers, unless she was able to get rid of her powers. And Mike dying could be a catalyst for 11's new growth. I think these characters play off of each other really well, and I think if either one of them were to die, that it would be a big narrative impact for the finale. And I think the Duffer Brothers had way too safe of a finale, and I think that Conformity Gate was a good theory. Conformity Gate probably should have happened, and if they did it, it would have been bananas. If we actually saw that, it would have never been attempted before. Have like a movie budget finale and then say it's completely retconned and then give another movie budget finale would have been mind-boggling. It would have been awesome. And I wish they would have done it. If you like this video, give it a like. If you like me, give it a subscribe anyway. You could really help me out if you want to keep making fun of me. Let me know if you agree with my take or if you have any contradictions that you want to add. This is a different kind of video for me. I actually wrote a script for it. I don't normally do that.
E minor, all right, yeah!
Though you don't have to do anything, but something would be nice. I'm Chris. This has been Cluster Reel, and have a blessed night.